Hey everyone, my name is Rooster, and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I'll be up against the strongest player in Mechabellum. It is none other than Flower Fairy, and it's an interesting one. It's a massive mirror of a matchup, but yeah, it goes the distance, and the ending is going to probably surprise you. So here we go, we have Fire Badger Specialist picked up for Fairy with a Mustang Crawler opener, which is quite unusual. Typically, Mustang openers are not that good. They struggle against a lot of kind of meta openers, especially the Arclight Sledgehammer ones. But yeah, in this game, I end up picking my favorite specialist just because I wanted to, have some fun. And I also have a Mustang opener, but with the Void Eyes instead. I go for double crawler because I do need some chaff, and my opponent, looks like they've already unlocked Fire Badger. They might end up buying one on round 1. This unit has become very meta after the changes it's received. Of course, a bunch of its techs got changed and buffed, and notably its projectile speed got doubled, which has really changed it a lot. And you see it all the time now in High MMR. It pairs nicely with some of the giants, which are very meta as well. So Raiden and Overlord being great, and pairing nicely with Fire Badger has meant that, yeah, especially from 201, I have seen a ton of Fire Badgers played. Now, I decided to push into the left side here. I wasn't too afraid of this building because I'm basically playing all small units, which this guy is not that good into. He's pushing into my wall. I was happy to abandon this because I feel like the wall is kind of the best building out there if you want to build something behind. Like if you need to mount a defense whilst being down in deployments, I feel like the wall is a very good thing to have. I'd rather, build a base behind this than I would building behind an anti-armor cannon. I feel like this is easier to take out than the wall. So here we go. We have a crossfire. My opponent ends up just going double crawler. He's probably going to need the crawlers anyway, so it's good to get both of his deployments in now, rather than skip a deployment and then, kind of switch the order of things, get a Fire Badger now, but then buy crawlers back in the next round. So this does make a lot of sense. I do believe that it puts me in a good spot to win. Obviously, I am Elite Specialist, so I have 300 more resources and level 2 crawlers on round 1. So you can see here, we get the debuff, and we should just be able to close this out. The Void Eyes are not doing that much, but I guess they were decent front line. And now we just need to watch our crawlers and Mustangs clear the rest of his board. So that's round 1. And immediately here I'm thinking, okay, well, anytime I have to face, someone pushing into my tower, which is completely undefended, I tend to default into some type of Fire Badger defense. Because I think Fire Badgers are just great overall. They're multiple bodies in a pack. They're not the easiest to take out. And, well, when you're up against Crawler Mustang, they're fantastic. So that was my plan moving forward. We get an immediate unit reinforcement here on round 2, which has Hound, Phoenix, Rhino, and Sabretooth. Nothing that interesting, I have to admit. I could try and play the Rhino on the left side to push in. I could play the Sabretooth. I could play the Phoenix. Anything here really is pickable. Phoenix, I guess, beats all of these, which is why I pick it. But yeah, it's not fantastic into Crawler or Mustang, so you're just kind of picking it mainly as a transitional DPS unit to deal with whatever he might pick up, which is going to be the Sabretooth aimed at my right tower. And yeah, you can see that he picks up a Fire Badger as well. And he will, of course, get a free one next round, and his techs are cheaper because he is a Fire Badger Specialist. Now, I decide to skip a deployment here because I felt like having one Fire Badger was going to be more useful than buying, say, 2 crawlers. I could buy 2 crawlers on the right side and kind of set up for a Fire Badger next round, but I really wanted to get this on the board. Look at how good it should be, right? He's got so many crawlers and small units to shoot at that I felt like I really could not, stall this for any longer. We do lose because the Sabretooth is there to clean up the Fire Badgers, but still, we killed a good amount of his army, and in the meantime, we are pushing into that left side. I will lose my tower. Sadly, one Fire Badger is still alive, which is able to fight back during said debuff. Thankfully, none of the units go to my second tower, so I may be able to clean up here, although a debuff would have to come through pretty quickly, and I don't have that many Mustangs left. Looks like I will be able to clean up mostly, though, and only the Sabertooth left. With all of these Void Eyes, I should be fine. So a very close fought round on round 2, but we do come out ahead. And now round number 3, we have some good spells. Underground Threat, Missile Strike, both worth picking up. Fairy will pick the Missile Strike. I was debating going Arclights, by the way, on the last round, but I was kind of afraid that Arclight would not be able to clear all of this fast enough, which is why I went for Fire Badger. If I had known Fortified Arclight would have been offered, I probably would have been happy to play Arclights, because I think that card is insanely powerful, but alas, it's not meant to be, and we pick up the Missile Strike as well, so both of us will just aim it at a pack of Mustang, and I pick up more Fire Badgers, because I have to build my way into kind of this core of my build, right? I will likely pair this up with probably Raiden later on, but I need to make sure that my Fire Badgers are fine first, which will probably mean getting range and getting Scorch, which Fairy already has. He got a free Fire Badger this round, and he also picked up range because obviously his Badgers are not level 2, so they're a bit cheaper, and he also has the decreased tech cost. So he's a bit ahead of me in terms of techs, but I am ahead of him in terms of levels. And you can see that the levels do matter. I mean, the Sabertooth is not having a great time. It is burning. I think I will end up losing. I mean, we're going to get debuffed, and these are still ranged Badgers. So yeah, this debuff, not ideal. Small turrets is going to die. And now, I mean, we just have to see how this gets resolved. Sadly, 2 crawlers do end up going for my tower, so I might get debuffed. I mean, maybe the level 2 Badgers are just too tanky to kill. That could very well be the case. We are making some progress here. We'll get debuffed. And yeah, as I'm running out of Fire Badgers, I think I will end up losing. Although I say that, never mind. We do end up winning, so levels better than techs in this scenario. Round number 4, nothing amazing here. There's Photon Coating that you could think about. There's Advanced Defensive Tactics as well. And I was looking at my hit points, and I still was on full health somehow. So in this case, I'm going to pick Advanced Defensive Tactics on round 4, even though it is so incredibly expensive for me to do so. It cost me a lot of money, and on Elite, it's already putting me in a tough spot, right? Because I needed to grab the range, which I do. I've been selling out of the Phoenix last round. I sold out of a Mustang this round because it's just feeding. And yeah, I'm using all of the money I have here to get into Fire Badgers. Now, opponent, again, is a step ahead in terms of techs as he picks up Scorching Fire, which I also will do next round, but I'm just, you know, I'm elite spec, so I'm around behind, sadly, but we still do have the level advantages, which is nice. I pick up 1 Lone Marksman because I was a bit afraid that he was going to get into Raiden. I was quite sure that he would go into Raiden here at some point. So I just kind of like bought this Marksman hoping that, hey, maybe with the levels I can beat the right sign and my Marksman at least could have a go at an air unit if it shows up. Now, if you go and look at the left side, he's already managed to level all of his Fire Badgers over there. So this time around, I should be losing. We do get a debuff, which is nice. The Marksman does a good job of softening some of those Fire Badgers. But yeah, half of the crawlers go towards my tower. I'm going to get debuffed again. And yeah, these are the same level Badgers, but with double tech against singular tech Badgers. So this time around, Fairy will come out ahead. And that sends us into the mid-game as we enter round number 5. Now, round number 5, Efficient Giant Manufacturing shows up, which is what Fairy goes for. There's a second Advanced Defensive Tactics. And at this point, I was thinking to myself, you know, Fairy didn't pick up the Advanced Defensive Tactics last time, and I'm quite sure he's going to pick Efficient Giants because it's just such a good card. You can already see the Raidens are there. It just makes sense to pick into Elite because if I want to go Giants, it's not going to be as easy for me to spam them. So I'm not going to be able to make good value out of it. I will get good value, though, out of having 60% more hit points than he does. So, yeah, we've got double Advanced Defensive Tactics. I've got enough money to get into Scorching Fire. And I pick up another badger here all the way at the back, because at this point I'm kind of playing in a staircased way. I know that the left side is my weak side, the right side is my strong side, so I'm playing to push in over here. I'm playing to just kind of delay and kill as many things as possible on this side. The tower has been leveled, and thankfully I do have one marksman here to be able to help me out. You can see that the Raiden, even though it is supposed to be good into fire badgers, is really struggling to get through these guys because of the additional hit points we picked up. So I'm not feeling too bad about the scenario here. I will have to go into Raiden myself, and honestly, I felt like I was in a good spot to mirror. Normally I don't like doing it, but if I have a pretty good reason to believe I'm going to win it, like, you know, having double advanced defensive tactics and also buying the Raidens at level 2, which is going to help a lot in the mirror, I'm, you know, not going to shy away from it. Also, there aren't many other options for me here. I don't think it's very viable to go for something like Farseer. Marksman, same thing, wouldn't kill the badgers quick enough. I need to get through his badgers to hit his Raidens, so going for Raiden makes the most sense. Round number 6, and we get unit reinforcements to choose from. Typhoon and Vulcan and Mustang, I guess, are all worth 400 if you sell them. So I will just pick up the Vulcan and sell in this case, as I need to get into Raiden. Missile strikes are back off cooldown. 2 more Raidens have been picked up by Fairy, and he has managed to get range. So again, I'm around behind, right? Every single time I'm around behind. With the techs on the Fire Badgers, he got Raiden, now I get Raiden, but he gets more Raidens with the tech. I don't have the tech, but I do have the levels, and you can see that my damage is way higher than his as a result. I do get a nice tower debuff timing here. My Raiden on the left side is doing a great job of stalling, and I'm just going to be winning despite having, you know, a lack of techs. In this case, having the stats just makes all the difference. And there we go. So a great round on round 7. Round number 6, sorry. Round number 7, we get some decent items again. Portable shield shows up. I'm gonna pick it. Intensive training sadly gets offered. That's a bit rough, because intensive training I think is very good into elite. It kind of makes up for the fact that elite tends to win mirrors because you have access to higher level units. With intensive training you can kind of combat that and, you know, make some really high-level units yourself. So that's what Fairy goes for here. And you can see that Raiden, which was normally going to be level 2, is now suddenly level 3. Now, I do get the portable shield in return, which I'm going to throw onto a Fire Badger, because this should just improve its survivability a ton. We go for another Raiden, a third one, and we grab range as well. And in the meantime, I am kind of buying some crawlers here and there, I believe. Perhaps another Fire Badger. Yeah, another Fire Badger over here. I am loaning on round 7 as I wanted to get more chaff too, so I'm building some late crawlers. I don't need that many, but I still want to have some, because if I can take out the Fire Badgers, then the late crawlers should survive and he should have some issues, you know, locking onto my units. Now, again, it's the same story, right? He has more Raidens. I finally catch up to the range, and he goes EMP. So again, we are behind in terms of teching, but we do have the advantage of levels for the most part. I mean, I say that. The intensive training has kind of caught up, but as you can see, the late crawlers have indeed managed to push through. I managed to kill all the Fire Badgers, so he can't clear. Looks like we're going to get another very timely debuff here. Helps out my Raiden on the left. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to do much. It seems like there's chaff on my tower, so I'm not going to be able to lock onto the Fire Badgers, but as we loop around, we may be able to still win. A debuff would be great, although I don't think we're going to get it here. And now it's just up to the Raidens and what they can do. I will get EMP'd. A pack of fangs is still there. And looks like I may end up losing here after all. Yep, there we go. Getting slowed as well. And, well, round 7 goes over to Fairy. Round number 8. Here we are. Nothing. These are really bad. Really, really awful unit drops, because at this point, neither of us really needs anything, apart from maybe like Sandworm. And we're just kind of looking to get something that you can sell. So neither of these are easy to sell, because, well, most of them are 3 units, which means it takes 3 rounds to sell them. And in the meantime, they don't add anything to the board. So I was kind of looking to go for Arclight instead because it sells the easiest. It's not worth the most, but I could try and make use of it, you know? Sell one, maybe go for a little bit of a deep flank here because some of this chaff is pullable. If I pull that chaff and manage to kill some of it, I should also be able to kind of push through over here a bit quicker, and that just seemed to be the easiest way to deal with it. You can see that Fairy also goes for it, but instead of selling, he decides to keep the Arclights and goes for Armor Enhancement, which is a very cheap tech. I don't think it does that much. I mean, it might, you know, get my Fire Badger stuck for a bit, but with the Raidens, with EMP now, as I do match the tech, we should be able to get through pretty easily. Of course, I guess the Photon Coating Arclight is not going to get EMP'd, but it should still die pretty quickly. I go for an oil play. He also goes for an oil play. I mean, this game is just like... this game is, yeah, a high MMR in a nutshell sometimes. Just pure mirror. But we do manage to catch up. And right now, he does not have any advantages anymore tech-wise. You can see that over here, we do go for that flank with a crawler. I pick up a third Raiden. And I'm kind of just looking, again, to stall the left side, right? That's why I oil over there. I'm not really planning to beat him head-on over here. I'm planning to beat him on the right side, get a debuff, and then loop around and beat his army after I've beaten the right side. That's my plan moving forward, because I don't think I can match this, if I'm being completely honest. He just has way too many resources over here, and if I strengthen this, I might lose still, and then I'm also not reinforcing my strong side, and I might end up losing over there too. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Sadly, I do get EMP'd, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any respite here. So probably it's going to end up with us losing. I do get the EMP shots off first, but never mind, as the second Raiden saves his buddy. And we go into round 9. Both of us still at 3k hit points, by the way. Would you believe it? Now, a second intensive training shows up on round 9. Which is getting scary. An enhancement module here could be really bad, even though it is late into the game. I mean, everything is leveling constantly because he's up against elite spec, and yeah, that could be an issue. Second intensive does get picked up. I just decide to skip, I believe. I could have picked up the photon coating, I guess. Could have been alright. I do level my Raidens where possible and pick more of them up. I was thinking about going for Fork here. I didn't really want to go Chain. I think Fork in general is just the best. And if I'm being honest, I may just get rid of Chain and run Ionize instead. I think there's no real reason to run Chain anymore in this meta. It feels like Fork is just, you know, it's cheaper. Or is it cheaper? No, it's not cheaper, but it does reduce your range by way less. And if you're up against boards like Fire Badgers and Raidens, it does a better job than Chain will do, and, well, that is kind of the meta at the moment. More Raidens are being picked up here. I am leveling that left side tower even more, because, again, my weak side, I am staircasing a bit, so you can see me add a Raiden here now, but again, it's mostly just to kind of catch some of his units and make sure that he has less of an army to deal with my army once I hopefully break through the right side. Missile strike here being used just to kill some chaff. He adds some wasps to the mix and one Raiden all the way in the back. I'm not too afraid of the wasps here. I mean, I have this many Raidens that I don't think it's gonna matter too much. And as you can see, we are kind of breaking through. Like, at this point of the game, it just makes more sense to buy more and more Raidens and tech them, because, well, that's just how giants kind of work, right? They become more and more efficient with techs, and Raiden especially is very capable of killing some small units too once it gets to the multiple techs. Not looking great here, I'm not gonna lie. We didn't break through the right side, sadly. I eventually will get there, but at the cost of my tower. And, well, while I do get a nice debuff and I might be able to clean up some of these Raidens, I am going to lose yet again. So round number 9, not amazing. It's going to push me down to 1900. At this point, I'm starting to get within danger territory, and oh no. I had to mention it, didn't I? Yeah, double intensive training into elite and then enhancement module. Not ideal. Yeah, bit unlucky here. It definitely does not improve my odds whatsoever. I can't really pick it myself, because I don't have intensive training, and I'm elite spec. So all of my units are higher level, which means that they're harder to level. And yeah, that's kind of just how things are. So he levels a Raiden, I believe, and then sells it and transitions the item to immediately pay back for the enhancement module, and then just buys more Raidens and full text them. I was very surprised when I saw this. This is something that you shouldn't do, if I'm being completely honest. You should never go chain and fork. It does hit 10 different units, but it reduces your range so much that it tends to put you in a lot of trouble. If we look at this, 155 range on my Raidens. I did pick fork. 135 range on his, which when I have EMP on the bar, means that I'm probably just going to be EMPing your Raidens before you do. Or before you EMP mine. Now I'm just going to be stacking more Raidens on the right side. This is kind of just how you play this unit. You deathball them one side of the field. I level my left side tower to level 4, and well, let's just see what happens, I guess. More and more Raidens I think got picked up this time. He's not interested in buying more Wasps. And yeah, you can see here that Raiden got immediately targeted. Same thing happening in the middle. Same thing happening on the right side as well. Left side, I am getting EMP'd, so he is managing to push through over there, and we don't really clear the chaff that well. But on the right side, it seems like we should be able to push through, and as we push through, we should also be able to get a debuff, hopefully. Okay, couple Badgers go over there, that's a good thing. Debuff will help. He hasn't been leveling his towers at all, and yeah, I mean, this is just the Raiden death ball. There's how many Raidens on here? I think 5. It's kind of hard to see at this point. But yeah, he only has 1 left. And we managed to come out victorious after perhaps a bit of a blunder there on Fairy's behalf, full teching his Raidens. Round number 11, we get more unit reinforcements. I did mention the Sandworm being a decent pickup if it showed up. It shows up here. I don't really want to go for it myself, because I had a play in mind to just kind of go Photon Coating, because one, I have a lot of bonus hit points, and Photon Coating will just help make my army even tankier. And then 2, of course, I don't want to get EMP'd, and I kind of want to try and barrel through as fast as possible on the right side. Now, Fairy does pick up the Sandworm. I should pick it as well if I'm looking to sell, which I do. And, well, let's see what happens here. There is a bit of a problem, right? Double intensive available now, which means that this Raiden is now level 4 for Flower Fairy. He could have sold that. I honestly think it might have been better to do that, but it seems like he has enough money to go for his play. And he picks up 2 more elite recruited Sandworms and goes for Burrow Maintenance, which gives 20% bonus hit points. He does have the second defense enhancement. I don't. Maybe would have been nice to pick up. I go for the Overlord here. I have a nice parking spot for it, and I should be able to hit a lot of my units on the right side, get good value out of it. And that is pretty much my entire round. I do pick up another Raiden too, but at that point I've used all of my money. I guess I have a little bit left to pick up another Crawler and go Subterranean Blitz, which hopefully will be able to tank a little bit longer, buy me some more time. And I also go for some late missiles, because I could see that on the left side I wasn't clearing everything, and I was kind of hoping to catch some Crawlers here as they arrive at my tower, and then perhaps catch some Crawlers as they're making their way over to my other tower as well. Looks like the Worms, they are tanking a fair bit. The left side is under some trouble, I will say, as this Worm gets pulled towards the center, and the other one goes towards this tower, so not an ideal way for things to happen. Right side, though, pushing through. I get debuff, but only for 3 seconds. And now I'm hoping I can push through and my units get that tower debuff on the right. Couple of Crawlers, though, and the Worm that got pulled towards the middle gets my tower. My units do not go for the debuff, and I end up losing on round 11. Yeah, feels bad, man. Feels even worse when I show you guys what the actual winning move is in this scenario. So let's pick up the fight on round 11. I'm going to go for the same play that I went for earlier. So I'm going to pick up Sandworm. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to sell it. And I will go for that photon coating boat play. But this time around, I'm going to be beaconing my units into his tower. So we're going to go over here, over there, click temp range, click temp speed. And I mean, what I could try, I guess, is preempt the sandworms. I do want to grab a level, I think, on this Fire Badger. And I mean, what I could do is perhaps go for acid on my crawlers and then maybe grab one other one to try and catch the enemy units as they move in. I have photon coating myself, so I should be kind of fine against this. And then aside from that, I mean, what do we want to do? I could just level these Raidens. I could buy another Raiden too. Maybe just leveling these, though, is the better move. And then, I mean, maybe we just, like, add some late missiles the same way we did. So the round is pretty similar. We'll have to see if this acid has any effect. This worm is photoned. But with the beacon, we may be able to actually get a nice debuff this time, because my units were kind of refusing to get towards his tower, and he hasn't been leveling it whatsoever. This time around, we do somehow kill that unit in the middle, but we get a nice debuff, which makes all the difference. A good missile there to kill the crawlers, that is what it was intended to do. And now we have the air army in our favor. We loop back around, we get both of the towers, and the worms are not an issue whatsoever, and we actually would have ended up winning. So yeah, there's multiple ways to achieve this. My air army is simply stronger at this point because of the quad tech on the Raiden causing some issues. But yeah, I should have probably tried to predict the sandworm here. The acid seemed to have made a difference. I think the beacon also did well. I tried multiple beacon attempts. Some of them do work, some of them don't work. It's a little bit random. But yeah, I mean, most of the time, if you know, do a play kind of like this, I do end up winning. So that was the way to approach this. Still, pretty exciting game. I mean, that is a lot of Raidens on the board. And, well, I went to round 11, which I guess is exciting enough. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. If you want to stay up to date with my latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.